Hello, I'm Chris.
And I'm Cherie, and we're of the RV Mobile Internet Resource Center and also Technomadia.
So today we are going to talk to you about unlimited data plans and just understanding some of the terminology that gets thrown around this should be simple topic, but well, unlimited doesn't always mean unlimited.
Oh goodness, it's so confusing. And especially for RVers, whether you're full-timing or seasonal, you're probably using internet to replace a home internet connection. So we're not exactly the consumer that most of the cellular carriers are trying to design their plans around. So we have to think a little extra hard about if a plan is going to meet our needs on the road or not.
So first off, you see all these unlimited plans advertised. They're back with a vengeance, but the limitations in place are important to understand. In particular, what devices can you use that unlimited data on?
Such as, can you use it on a mobile hotspot?
Yes, all these plans are being advertised as smartphone plans.
Or tablet plans.
Some of them will also work on tablets, and well, some of them will let you put your unlimited plan on a mobile hotspot like this to share the connection, but it is no longer unlimited when you do that. So
how do you understand this?
How do you understand the words?
Make sure when you're researching a plan, what sort of device is it allowed on? Because the carriers do consider putting it on a mobile hotspot device. You might also know this as a jetpack or a MiFi. Those are just branding terms. They're all called mobile hotspots. Or a USB modem or connected car device. Know if they're specifically intended for it, because some carriers actually will just disable the plan if you put it in here or put other restrictions on.
And now then other carriers will let you turn your phone or your tablet into a mobile hotspot, checking the personal hotspot box, and then this will act just like that, creating a Wi-Fi hotspot for you to share. But you have a limit. Your unlimited plan actually has a big limit on how much shared data you get. And it might have a set amount of X gigabytes of high-speed data, and then after that, it drops down, and that's called throttling.
If you're surfing on your smartphone or your tablet, anything you do on that device is still unlimited up until something else called a network management threshold. And this is very different from the carriers. It's not throttling. It doesn't mean that once you hit a certain amount of data that you're automatically slowed down. What it means is that your traffic becomes deprioritized on the network only at times of network congestion.
And this is relative to other customers who have not yet hit that cutoff point.
So the carriers, they have thresholds that are usually ranging somewhere between 22 and 28 gigabytes of usage in a month. And they all tend to kind of reevaluate that periodically based upon how their overall traffic is going. So you do need to keep on top of that. It does not mean that you're going to be automatically slowed down. And if you're traveling in places where it's not overly populated, like if you're in rural areas, you may never even experience it. Or if you're in a congested area or an area where you have a lot of other RVers trying to use an unlimited data plan, you may only experience it at peak times.
Right.
So surfing late at night, no problem. But 9 a.m. when everyone's up checking their email and maybe surfing the morning news, then you start to see the slowdowns.
So a lot of people get really confused about this. They see the plan with the fine print saying network managed after 22 gigs, and they think that is it. That's all they can use is 22 gigs. And if you pay attention to congestion, you can use 10 times that much. Its plan is unlimited. It's just slowed down when congested.
So do understand that the mobile hotspot limits that you might have on your plan and network management are kind of tracked independently, but they also play together. So any usage that you have on your plan, whether it's for video streaming, mobile hotspot use, using apps, playing Pokemon, checking your email, surfing the web, or whatever you're doing, all of that usage gets put together, and then that is applied to your network management threshold. And these caps are usually implemented by the carrier by line on your account, not for your overall account. So if you have multiple lines, you get 10 gigabytes per line, if that's what your carrier has, and 22 gigabytes of your network managed threshold. So the other thing to understand about video streaming on these unlimited plans is if the carrier is advertising it as one of the perks of the plan, they are usually doing so it's on device only. So that's watching it on your smartphone or tablet. If you want to watch it through something like a Roku, a Chromecast, an Apple TV, or a smart TV, so i.e. using a Wi-Fi hotspot off of your smartphone, using personal hotspot, that is considered mobile hotspot use and will count against any caps that they place on you for that. So the way around this, and we have a video on this, is using an HDMI cable out of the port of your phone and directly connecting that to the phone, and that just mirrors it up to a larger screen.
This is a great way to get HD video out of a tiny screen device onto your big projector system.
All right, we're going to go through each of the carriers and tell you how each of them differ so you can best decide which one is right for you and also give you some alternatives.
So Verizon is the nation's largest carrier and is the one a lot of RVers rely on just because of the amazing coverage they have. And now, well, they have an unlimited plan. But of course, there are a few limits and catches. First off is how the plan is priced. So like Verizon plans, they are advertising it as $45 a line, and they're pushing that a lot. But that's if you actually have 4 separate lines on the unlimited plan. The regular pricing is if you have just a single smartphone, it's $65 a month, and then $20 for the smartphone, so that brings it up to $85. Or if you have multiple smartphones sharing the plan, it starts at $110 plus $20 per smartphone, and then you can get a $5 or $10 rebate if you sign up for autopay. Now you can add up to 10 lines to these Verizon plans, and the lines can be tablets, they can be smartphones, and they actually even can be mobile hotspots like this. But mobile hotspots do have a limit, which we'll get to in a second. Now, all these Verizon plans, the unlimited plans are subject to network management after 22 gigabytes of usage in a month. And when it comes to mobile hotspot usage, whether you're using a mobile hotspot, a standalone Jetpack or MiFi, or you're using your phone or tablet to create a mobile hotspot, Verizon has a separate limit. It's 10 gigabytes a month of mobile hotspot usage per line. And after you use that 10 gigabytes, it will drop down to 600 kilobytes per second. So very, very slow, and there is no getting around that. Other than Verizon hasn't seemingly started to enforce this rule just yet. Now, then HD video. Some of the other carriers used to throttle their HD video down to lower the resolution. Verizon is putting no limitations on HD video. You can watch in whatever resolution the channel you're watching is putting out, including Ultra HD. It's absolutely fabulous. And then finally, international roaming. So Verizon's unlimited plan, you can actually go anywhere in North America. Well, mostly anywhere. You can go and roam into Canada and Mexico and use your plan. The one catch is your unlimited data is limited to 500 megabytes a day in Canada and Mexico of high-speed data before it drops down to a slow 2G speed. Now, as for the rest of the world, you can buy a travel pass from Verizon for $10 each day, and that gives you 24 hours of use of your plan in that country, wherever you happen to be. About 100 countries are supported, just as if you were back in the United States. So that's kind of a look at the official Verizon unlimited plan. There are a few other options still to get unlimited data on Verizon. There's the old grandfathered unlimited plans from way back in 2011. They're still around. You can buy them from kind of on the resale market. They cost a lot up front, and you can get them transferred into your name, or you can rent them from somebody else. These plans are not subject to the 22 gigabyte network management limit or the 10 gigabyte hotspot limit. So if you've want to use a lot of hotspot data, these plans are worth tracking down, but do your homework because Verizon's been cracking down on them. They're getting harder to get, and you need to really understand the trade-offs and whether they're going to be around for the long haul. So that's basically it for the Verizon Unlimited plan. It's a great plan. Great. Welcome back to the market, Verizon.
All right, so AT&T, they were the last to respond to Verizon's new unlimited data plan, but we consider them the second best carrier for RVers in terms of nationwide coverage. However, they have probably the worst unlimited data plan. All right, and just 10 days later, AT&T decided take two. They apparently listened to consumer demand that they needed to come out with something better. So here's the new deal. They actually have two unlimited data plans. The first one starts at $60 a month, is only ST video. and is capped at 3 megabit per second always, and no mobile hotspot use on the smartphones. That one's not as interesting. The one that is really interesting for us RVers is what they're calling their Unlimited Plus plan. Base price is $90 a month, still the highest on the market, but stay with me here is why this is probably one of the better plans out there. Next is for 2 lines, it's $145 a month. That includes the 2 lines, and then you can add 8 additional lines at $20 per month. You can also now add mobile hotspot devices, their home-based device, and the connected car device, all at $20 a month. Now, the biggest change in these plans is they are allowing mobile hotspot use. On smartphones and tablets, it is just like the other carriers, is capped at 10 gigabytes per month of high speed, and then it drops to 128 kbit per second. So it is the slowest throttling that's going to happen on the mobile hotspot use, and that is equivalent to old 2G speeds. All of the plans with network management are, however, it is 22 gigabytes of usage before you're subject to the network management, just as before. But what's really interesting about these plans is when you add an internet-only device like a mobile hotspot, the home base, or the connected car, remember at $20 a month, they are not putting that 10 gigabyte high-speed mobile hotspot cap on these plans. That means they're only subject to the 22 gigabyte network management, but assuming you're not on a congested tower, which you probably won't be, well, once we get a lot of these plans on the market, we probably will have congested towers everywhere, but once these are basically now unlimited for $20 a month, in addition to your base smartphone plan. We are hearing people able to get the connected car device, however, still activated as standalone plans, so that's really cool. International, again, they still are covering Canada and Mexico. The plans will work just as if you're in the domestic US, so that's really awesome. And the HD video streaming is same as before. It is allowed. However, you do need to go turn off Stream Saver on your account to get it out of low res, but they are allowing the HD video streaming on the Plus plan. Additionally, we have heard that when streaming DirecTV Now, remember AT&T owns DirecTV, usage by streaming data over DirecTV Now does not count towards that 22 gigabyte threshold for network management. So that's really cool how they're kind of building that in. However, if you have hit your 22 gigabyte, and this is per line, remember, not per account, if you have hit that threshold already, all data usage is subject to the network prioritization. So, if you've already hit it by other means, then your video streaming could be slowed down as well. All right, so what are some of the alternatives for AT&T? This is where it gets really, really interesting, is they have some new options that actually just came on the horizon here in the last couple of weeks. One is that connected car device that I just mentioned. Apparently, you no longer have to activate that by adding it onto an existing unlimited data line. So you can activate that just for $40 a month and get an unlimited hotspot device. It is run by 12 volt while your engine is on in the vehicle. There are, however, some adapters out there where you can plug that into an AC wall outlet, and some people have hacked them directly into a 12 volt system. So that might be interesting. It's not the best device. It only supports 5 users at a time. So it does have some limitations, and it doesn't have some of the more advanced features of a mobile hotspot. Also, you can get some rental lines on AT&T. There are many providers of these, Unlimitedville, your Expedited Wireless and 4G antenna shops sometimes offer them. Just be sure to inquire if they are subject to that 22 gigabyte network management. We see a lot of them that are, and some of them specify specifically no throttling ever. Just make sure that they also are being upfront if they are subject to the network management caps. Not quite unlimited. There is a new rural plan that is intended for markets with underutilized towers that AT&T has kind of rolled out in the last week or so. Many RVers are signing up for it. It's their home wireless unit. It's a home-based unit. It's larger than a mobile hotspot. It has a jack to put a regular phone in. But these devices, they used to offer them only for 25 and 50 gigabytes a month. They're now 10 times that. 250 gigabytes or 500 gigabytes at the $60 and $100 a month price point. I don't know about you, but for me, that pretty much might as well be unlimited. It's pretty cool. It is subject to network management, however, the moment you step outside one of the supported areas. So make sure you research that and know if that's going to meet your needs as an RVer and in your travels.
So T-Mobile is the nation's third largest carrier and has been the fastest growing and probably the most innovative. So it's really become attractive for a lot of RVers. And its unlimited T-Mobile One plan has a lot of really interesting features. First off, how it's priced. It starts at $70 a month for one line of service, and T-Mobile does not charge you any extra taxes and fees. So it is a true $70 a month plan for our smartphone. But you cannot, and you can also have a tablet on this plan, but you cannot actually have a mobile hotspot, which is a bit of a limitation. These plans are subject to network management when you use over 28 gigabytes a month. This is the reset every quarter to be the amount the top 3% of T-Mobile customers are using. So it's been steadily creeping up what that cutoff cross point is. And then the mobile hotspot limit. So if you're using your plan for a mobile hotspot to have your phone or your tablet create a hotspot, it is set at 10 gigabytes a month, and then it drops down to 3G 512 kilobytes per second speed. But now, unlike any of the other carriers, T-Mobile has an add-on called One Plus International for $25 a month per line that actually gives you unlimited mobile hotspot usage. None of the other carriers offer that directly. The catch with T-Mobile's unlimited is that you might be subject to half speed once you reach that 28 gig threshold, and your on-device usage is always prioritized over mobile hotspot usage. Now, HD video. T-Mobile used to throttle HD video down to 480p resolution, but in response to Verizon rolling out HD video across all its unlimited plans, now T-Mobile has full HD as well, but you have to go and manually turn it on. So you have to do that at least once to enable HD video on your plan, but now you get HD anywhere you go. International. So T-Mobile's plans, they call it mobile without borders. It plans work anywhere in Canada, Mexico, and the United States. There are some limitations, like video will always be, no matter what your setting is, will be an SD resolution if you're in Canada or Mexico. But other than that, this is a really great traveling and roaming plan. Rest of the world, T-Mobile gives you unlimited international data in almost every other country, but at 2G speeds, currently at 256 kilobits per second. So there are a few alternatives ways to get a T-Mobile unlimited plan that will let you have an unlimited dedicated hotspot and not just have to use your phone or tablet. 4G Antenna Shop, Millennicom, and Unlimitedville all offer rental or T-Mobile plans indirectly. And then there is also the older T-Mobile Simple Choice plan, which Millennicom can still hook you up with, which gives you unlimited video streaming, which is what a lot of people are looking for with set data limits on regular usage. So that is definitely worth checking out.
All right, and last and least is Sprint. This is a carrier we don't often recommend for most RVers unless you are sticking to major metro areas and want an option for that sort of RVing. Sprint usually just is reactionary to what the other carriers done, and true to form, that's what they did when the news came out about Verizon. What is unique about them is they are offering their unlimited smartphone line at $50. That is the cheapest one on the market. And if you get a second line, it's only $40. After that, so now you're at $90, you can get up to 3 more lines added to your account for free. Getting pretty desperate there, Sprint. That gets pretty darn cheap for some unlimited data lines. You can also add on a tablet for $20 extra per month, and that does give you unlimited data on device. Pretty cool if Sprint works for you. This is a limited time promo, no telling how long they offer it, and it's only available to new customers. So if you're already with Sprint, they're not going to give you these rates. They do have network management at 23 gigabytes of usage, and that's of course when it slows down on congested towers. For mobile hotspot, they are including like AT&T, no sorry, not like AT&T, like Verizon and T-Mobile One. It is 10 gigabytes at high speed and then reduced to 3G speeds after you use that, and that is per line. So that's pretty generous. They've upped that from what they previously offered at 5 gigabytes. For HD video, They are including it also with on-device video streaming, so they're carrying on with that. So it's a great plan, price-wise, value-wise. The limitation is, of course, their network is not nearly as large as any of the other carriers. For international, that gets complicated. They have two different plans. They're both free. You'll have to weigh which one works for you. One includes 1 gigabyte of high-speed data usage. The other includes unlimited at 2G. They have different countries that each one supports, and you do need to activate it in advance. So there you go, Sprint. They follow everything and make everything more complicated. What gets interesting with Sprint is there are some really ridiculously cheap options for unlimited data that don't have a lot of these caps and limitations. My favorite is what is called the non-profit. There's an organization, so Sprint bought out Clear many years ago, and they had some terms for providing low cost unlimited data to nonprofits. And now that Sprint kind of incorporated in those terms, there are some nonprofits that have formed that allow you to join them and you get access to their unlimited data plans. You'll hear about companies like Calix, 4G Community, and PCs for People. Those are the top three that we know about. And you can get an unlimited 4G data plan on Sprint for as low as $10 per month. It does require purchasing upfront, prepaying several months in advance. You're not actually prepaying, you're buying a membership to the nonprofit and getting it included. We've been running one of these from 4G Community for a while, and it works pretty cool when we're in the Sprint area. Unlimitedville does offer a $99 per month rental of Sprint unlimited data lines, and you can find some other offerings out there from time to time as well. So that's Sprint. So that is a quick wrap up of the unlimited data plans on cellular carriers that we are currently tracking today. I expect as soon as I click publish, this is all going to be obsolete. It changes that fast. So if you'd like to keep up with what the current options are, come over and join us at rvmobileinternet.com/unlimited. We are constantly keeping that article updated as we learn about new plans, or if some of these plans that we've talked about have changed. But that gives you some of the options and hopefully some understanding of what is out there and how to compare the plans a little more effectively so you're making some informed choices. Again, we cannot thank our mobile internet aficionados, our premium members of rvmobileinternet.com, who keep us funded so that we can create content like this to help keep our RVing community connected. So please come over, browse. We're constantly tracking the industry and news articles, releasing guides, and we go even further with our premium members with in-depth content, webinars, and more information. So we'll see you next time. The other caveat with this is their international roaming. Actually, I don't know this one.